All right. Good morning. Today I'm very happy to welcome a great actress. I've been a big fan for a long time. I think I watch all her films, Mrs. Joanna Cassidy. How are you, Mrs. Joanna? Good morning. Thank you very
Good
much for
morning.
joining the live.
Good morning. Oh, I guess it's not morning for you. It must be.
It's here. It's 11:30. I think it's in California. It's 9:30 as well right now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
It's been a big
early
family.
rising. Yes, of course. I know about your career and everything, but I want to know, uh, always to know, you started late 60s, early 70s in cinema and television. I want to know how did you get, in your own words, your first break?
Well, I really didn't start until the 70s.
Uh-huh.
Previous to that time, I had been a model. Not a
Yes,
hugely successful one. I was in San Francisco. You
yes,
don't become big there. If you're in New York,
yes,
then you can become very big. But
yes, of course.
so I'm, you know, I I was cast in a movie by one of the Selznicks, the movie family, and she was a big casting woman, and I kind of invited myself to her office because I heard that she was doing a film, and I just said, I called her up. You could do that then, very
Hmm.
innocently. You needed an agent, but I didn't think that I did, so I called her up and I said, I think you have to meet me. And
Yes.
she said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yes." So she said, "Well, come on over." And I came in and I met her. I read with her, and she took me to meet the director. I met the director, and on from there.
Hmm. Yes. You know what fascinates me about the 70s and the 80s? When you started, there was a very um, talented, numerous generational new filmmakers, very talented screenwriters, filmmakers, actors, and you've been in the middle of all of that. Tell me, how was it like to work in the 70s and the 80s, where you started and you did some of your most remembered role? I
Well,
mean, the
you're absolutely
industry
right.
work
I
in
was
films. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, go ahead, please.
was in that middle slot because
Yeah.
what came before me were all those incredible, I say unbelievable actors and actresses that were made by the studios then, the Burt Lancasters and the Ava Gardners.
Cool.
They were phasing out, and then
Yes.
my group came in. So I caught the tail end of that. I worked with Robert Ryan and oh my gosh, mm,
Mhm.
another fabulous brunette actress,
Yes. Yes.
and also the woman that was in The Hills Are Alive. What was that movie? With
The
Peter
hell.
Christopher Plummer.
Yes.
And
Christopher Plummer. Yeah.
well, I worked with him later on, but it was the actress that was in them, and she was so brilliant. So they were older; they were probably in their maybe 70s then, and so I got to perform with them, and then this whole thing, and then by that time, film was sliding into television. Television was becoming something, but there was still sort of an edge about it. My manager used to say, "I don't want you working in television. It's either film or not." And I
Yes.
said, "Well, that's all very well and good, but
Mhm.
it has to. I have two children I have to take care of, and me, so
Yes.
it has to happen anyway."
Mhm.
But
Yes.
it was unsupported. In other words, I had a great manager, but it was not studio run anymore. So you didn't have a blanket. They weren't making deals with actors at that time
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
put them under contract, is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm. You know that leading ladies like yourself, you know, I mean, you were very lucky because you were steady in both television and film. I mean, you had movies and also you had a sitcom or a television movie you're starring in, or a role, a recurring role in television series, the most famous at the time, and your career was going on because at the time either you're a star of television or film, I imagine, right?
right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I,
I had a couple of big breaks, so
of course. Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate. I did the Late Show with Art Carney, and then I did The Outfit. That was for MGM, and that was with
Yes,
Robert Ryan and Robert Duvall, and
of course.
you know,
Yes. But I want to ask you, you know, everybody remembers you in Blade Runner as Zora, you know, and the famous dance with the snake and everything. But what I wanted to ask you, I remember when I was preparing the interview with you, I was reading some articles about Blade Runner, and I remember Rutger Hauer was saying that. I mean, the set and the filming of Blade Runner had a very special atmosphere, you know, with yourself, Harrison Ford, and Daryl Hannah, and Ridley Scott was picking up as well, you know, after Alien and came Blade Runner and all his big movies afterward. A great director. I want to ask you about your experience in the backstage of Blade Runner and your experience in playing this character of Zora.
well, I didn't come on until the very end of the film, so that was
Uh-huh.
had already been shooting it for 3 months, and I would hang around. I came to the set. I wanted to see what the vibe was. I wanted to see all the special effects and how they the prop part. I just wanted to feel because it was a night shoot about all the way through, and it was a tough one. It was really hard, and there was a lot of rain, but I had a feeling even then that it was going to be a phenomenal film. Ridley, when I saw The Duelists, the first film that he did after working in the commercial business for years, I said, this man is phenomenal. He's going to make incredible films. Plus, I had read the book, so I mean, I
Yes.
knew what the book could and would look like with him shooting it, and it did turn out that way.
Hmm. Yes, and I think the movie has gained a lot of cult following, and I know a lot of films like Blade Runner. You know, you know, the even the audience and the critics alike wouldn't feel its quality until some years passing by. You know. I think it gained the status it deserved after a few years of its cinematic release, you know, television, DVD, etc., and media. I want to ask you as well about your experience with Gene Hackman. I think you did two movies with him and Under
I
Fire
did.
in the Package. He's a great actor, of course. I used to love his movies, you know, since I first saw him in Superman, you know, and with
Yeah.
Marlon Brando. Tell me about co-starring with him in
Well, there are two things
Under
I
Fire.
want to address with you. I was just in Italy for 2 weeks, going to
Yeah,
5 different cities that showed Blade Runner at outdoor theaters. And
yeah,
there's a huge following for it. It's just huge. But anyway, so I did that. So it's
yeah.
that film is still very, very, very much alive. Gene is, I mean, I would have done more with him if I had pursued our on-screen relationship. We worked
Yeah.
very well together, and we really clicked. And Gene he's tough. You come to the set, you better know your lines, and you better be on it and
Yes.
be very professional, which is fine with me. I mean, that makes the day go faster. He's an actor that wants to do so many takes. That's it, and done and done. He wants to get in and get out. Move it on.
Hmm.
Let's move the
Hmm.
whole thing along. And I love that in an actor. I don't. So
You know what I respect about him, that he decided to retire, you know, and wouldn't do, I think, roles that wouldn't live up to his long career, you know, because if you've seen since his beginning in the 60s until his last role, I think it was the Runaway Jury with Dustin Hoffman. You know, you mean most of his role were very well written, directed, performed by himself and the other actors. So I respect very much an actor or a performer who decide to retire at a certain point to respect his career, you know. So you mentioned you got married. I've seen you got married and you had two children early, you know, before I think you started your acting career since you're modeling. But I want to ask you, um, or maybe it is some kind of advice also for upcoming artists about, you know, how can someone balance his life between acting and also his family life? In your own words, how did you manage to do it?
the trick is to be very good at what you do. You know, there's no trick around the agents or managers or anything else unless you, well, there is one trick. That is, you can track them down and find out where they hang out or where they dine, and just, you know, look great, be outrageous or whatever. But it really is all about being so good at your craft. Word gets around. It really does. And, you know, if you're special, you'll make it. But in terms of casting now, you know, it's all over the place. It's people that look like movie stars, and it's people who look very regular, very normal, very real. Seems to be the catchphrase these days. And but boy, you've got to be good. You better be ready. That's, you know.
Yeah. Yes. I want to ask you right now. I remember you launched a platform, you know, to with yourself and other artists and creators, like I remember Andrew Stevens and many filmmakers. I was part of this network as well, but suddenly you decided, I mean, to stop this website. Tell me what happened about it.
I think that was the website where you came on and you could uh,
Yeah,
pin someone
give
and
back.
ask them to
Yes,
talk to you.
yes,
Well,
yeah,
that
yeah. Classes,
unfortunately it shut down because the young lady running it, who was brilliant, and I thought she had a phenomenal idea, was not getting enough response to it.
mm-hmm.
And I loved that. I loved her. She was amazing. And I just thought this has to take off. I mean, maybe the timing was not there, but the one thing I am on now is Cameo. And, you know, people can ask
Yeah,
me to wish them a happy birthday or happy anniversary
yes,
or laugh for them or tell them a story or something, you know.
yes.
But
Tell me,
I would much
yeah,
rather spend.
the website was great. I was part of it. Yeah, I love it as well. And I think, I mean, right now regarding social media, I think some kind it, you know, I think it influenced people taste in the way they use their computer and telephone. I mean, social media all the time. Most of the people are using social media to, you know, to have fun, to see something funny, to see something amazing. But educationally, I mean, if someone is not in using it for work or online, I mean, it's very difficult for a serious website to take off right now.
Well, I think they
Right?
use TikTok as well to
Yeah, yeah.
performance. That seems to be more of the engine that can create a career right now.
Yes, yes. Joanna, tell me right now, at this point of your career and your life, tell me, do you have any, a dream or a project or a character you would love to play in the future? Any future project aspiration for
Well, I have a
tomorrow?
couple of things. I have a movie out now called Afterlife, which is
Yeah.
after COVID. I also did a cameo in the new Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. So that is not put together yet, but that's going to happen. And then there's also a film that I'm going to be doing called Killing Faith that is, I will be very
Mhm.
ugly in this. Very ugly. And um, uh, so I'm not looking forward to changing that much physically as I got older, and I'm certainly in that lane right
Makeup.
now. You know,
Yeah. It takes a lot of
we
time.
never lose the love for acting and getting on a set and being with other actors and feeling that energy, that excitement. So I don't
Of
have any
course.
dreams about that. I can play anything. I'm a butterfly. I'm a queen. A rogue. I'm everything. I can do it all.
Yes, this is great. Joanna, I want to thank you very, very much for this lovely interview, early morning. And I wish you all the best in your
Thank you.
upcoming projects. And I congratulate you on your success, for your work on cinema, television, and also on your personal life. And I look forward to have you again, and I hope we can invite you to see Egypt and Cairo Festival
That'd be very
soon.
nice.
Yeah, and you will love it. You will love it.
I
Okay?
think so. I know so.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you. You take care too.
Bye.